All right. So we're starting a podcast, right?
All right.
We're starting a podcast.
This is exciting.
This is our very first episode. We're kind of working through it a little bit. We don't really know really what we're doing too much. I mean, this is kind of like the first for me. I've never done a podcast.
Yeah, so don't
before.
hit us too hard in the comments.
Yeah, like take it easy. You got to take it easy on us, at least for the first one. But kind of the idea behind it is eventually we want to have drivers on and just kind of pick their brains about what make them tick. Every driver's got a story to tell, so we just kind of want to hear their stories and give them a platform to share it, because we feel a lot of the other trucking companies that have podcasts, they don't highlight the drivers in a way that we feel they should be. So we kind of want to give them a platform to share their stories, tell about them and their personal lives, their journey in trucking, all that sort of stuff.
I agree, and I'm excited to see where it goes with that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So kind of just to kick things off, my name is Karson. I do all of the social media and content creation for Rands. I'd like to say anything that comes out from Rands Trucking is most likely coming from me, whether it's internal, external. I handle all the content creation, the editing, anything that kind of falls under the marketing umbrella. So it's a sweet role. I've only been here for 6 months, so I'm still kind of learning the ropes of the trucking industry a little bit. So I'm just excited to learn as much as I can, and I'm really happy to be here.
That's awesome. Yeah. And my name is Ryan. I'm the driver recruiter here. I've been here for 4 years and I've really enjoyed it. The experience along the way has been fantastic. I've hired about getting close to 200 drivers since coming here. And
that's crazy.
It is.
That's a lot of drivers.
Yeah, it is. And, it's been kind of cool because I've been able to develop a lot of relationships with a lot of those guys along the way too. So I've enjoyed that, and they've treated me great here. So been a good journey.
Yeah, I was just going off of that. Just every time a driver comes in, you know who they are.
Yeah.
And even today, we had a driver that I've never met before, and Ryan hadn't seen him in a couple months, and they were outside throwing frisbee around. Like, it was the coolest thing ever. I came back from lunch, and they were outside throwing the frisbee around. So it's just, that's kind of the company culture we like to have around here, I'd say. So just treating them not just like a number, just treating them like another person, which is what they are. They're very valuable to our company, and we like to show that to them. So
yeah, I would agree with you. And that's been one of my favorite parts about this, is that it's not just all marketing jargon here when it comes to that stuff. I mean, we really have had the chance to get to know the drivers, and I've been afforded I think that's been one of my favorite things for me. They've really given me a lot of flexibility and grace to be able to do stuff like that, to call the drivers and when they're coming through, to go out and have some fun with them if there's time, or just to sit in the office and talk a bit. I mean, it's been really great.
Yeah.
And that's been easily my favorite part about my job here over the past few years.
Yeah, I'd have to go with that too. Just even like you said, the flexibility of things, and just getting to just interact with these drivers, whether it's for me doing interviews with them, doing silly this or that type of things with them, or just even like you said, just having a conversation with them, calling them up, or they stop in my office yesterday. Met a driver. I met him one time before. He stopped in, and we had a 25-30 minute conversation from everything from safety to upcoming events that we're going to be at, or just how he's been. So I really think that's really cool. I've never been in trucking, but from what I hear, it doesn't seem like it's very common. And from what I've seen, and I think it needs to change a little bit. And, I think Ryan does a great job of that with our drivers, and I think our company as a whole does a great job of that. So
yeah, I think so too. And I have been in trucking for a lot longer. Like I worked for another company for over 7 years prior to coming to here. Very, very different culture. I mean, I always tell people, I kid you not, in my 7 years at this other place, I only saw a driver 2 times.
Yeah, wow.
So the idea of just having a driver walk into your office is uncommon.
Yeah, and that's insane for you, because that's a weekly thing. Every week I haven't gone a week here where I haven't had a conversation or a driver stopping in, whether it's for content or just to say hi and just drop by. And that's like we were going and talking about before, like seeing 7 years and only seeing a driver 2 times.
Yeah.
That's just not who we are here at Rands. We like to interact with our drivers, and we like to make them feel important and feel like a part of the team, because that's what they are. They are a part of the team. They're arguably the most valuable part of the team.
No, I agree completely, and it's one thing too, like coming from a recruiting perspective, this is actually the first recruiting job I ever had. I was in customer service in trucking prior to this. And so one of the things that I've seen is, Oh, and of course I'm losing my train of thought here.
It's all good.
So don't roast me too much in the comments here again, guys. But I've being a recruiter and being my first experience, I've been pretty lucky because I've got a good company to talk about. I don't have to BS around and try to persuade people to something that isn't real or make up stuff. And I will say that has been one of the biggest challenges to my job, because I find that most drivers have been on the phone with so many recruiters who are either just straight up lying to them. They don't give one hoot about what's coming out of their mouth, so long as they think the driver wants to hear it and can persuade them to come. And it's a total lie. The driver shows up and it's completely the opposite, whether the pay that they were promised is wrong or the lanes aren't the same, the home time is off. Like it's just wrong. Or you have recruiters who have no clue what they're talking about, because they don't ever ride along with the drivers. They're just reading off of a piece of paper that somebody gave them. Who knows how old it is or whatever. But all of that leads to drivers who come and they're frustrated. They're tired of talking to people who know the lines to say. Yeah. And but Rands has never put me in a position where I needed to do any of that, And I'm confident that when they come on board, they're going to like it here, because they'll see, yes, the dispatchers really are this way. They really do keep you moving. Yes, the pay really is good.
Yeah.
And the people are actually nice. It's been a blessing to me, because if I had to polish a huge turd like a lot of people have to do in this,
I love that.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like it wouldn't even be worth it.
Yeah. No, I think something that was very interesting to me is you said this was your very first recruiting job. Mm-hmm. So kind of going back with that, what kind of challenges did you see coming from this old company, not really in a recruiting role, to now you're our only recruiter? Like you are the recruiting department. You are the head, the middle, the bottom. Like it is Ryan Smith in recruiting. So what kind of challenges, at least right away? Because when I got it, it seems like you're killing it. You're still killing it. You're very good at what you do. So I'm interested to see kind of what challenges you faced early in your transition here. Absolutely.
Well, it's just a totally different ballgame, because I was being in customer service. You're dealing with customers booking loads. You would occasionally talk to a driver in that previous role, but it was much more rare. So I did not know what brands of trucks were out there. I didn't know what the brands of trucks were that we had. I knew nothing about the lanes and really just how to talk to a driver. Rachel Rands really embraced me right from the get-go. She not only helped me to share with me what she knew, but she also allowed me to do 3 different ride-alongs with different drivers. She gave me a list of phone numbers of several of our drivers, and she had me call them once a week just to talk to them.
Yeah.
And you know what? Cool. I will say the drivers did so much to help me understand what it's actually like out there, Yeah. And that helped me to, number one, actually correct some of the language that we were using, because some of it didn't line up with reality.
Sure.
I'll give you one example. Okay. We used to tell people that, you'll just have to lift maybe 50 pounds. Some of these windows are actually kind of big.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not that they're unmanageable, but if you're going to tell someone a window's 50, all you're going to deal with is 50-pound windows, and they come and they see this big bay window that's 400 pounds. But so I had the chance to correct all of that and stuff, and the drivers have been great with that. I also had the chance to go to an event down in Alabama to learn a few things. And so the challenges that I faced were more just, again, knowing what the drivers are actually dealing with, and experiencing talking to them from their perspective instead of from the office perspective and just dealing with customers.
Yeah, I think that
makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's so cool that Rachel gave you a list of not every, but a lot of our current drivers to call and just kind of, like you said, pick their brain, have a conversation with them, see what they see out on the road, how we can help them. I think that's really cool. I think the communication aspect of it is very important, and I think you do a great job at that.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, back at you, man.
I just want to go kind of back on something you said with the ride-alongs. That's something I got to do as well, kind of right away. And I think kind of what Ryan said, it really opened my eyes to what these guys are dealing with out there, helped me understand more of the trucking universe, so to speak, kind of the day-to-day operations, kind of how they start, how they operate. So it was just a really, really eye-opening experience to see a professional driver in his element, just doing what he's doing. Because before I worked here, I just thought, it's pick up and drop off. There's really nothing in between. You pick up your load, you drive, you drop it off. But in my 6 months here, I've learned that there is way more to trucking than that. It goes way beyond just getting in a driver's seat. So I think riding with the driver, if you have an opportunity to go ride along with a trucker, you need to do it.
Absolutely.
You need to do it 100%.
Totally.
I think if you have any opportunity that comes across, it's just such an eye-opening experience and really shows you what they deal with. It's not an easy job. They have to rely on a lot of people to do their job effectively. And they got to deal with a lot of stuff out on the roads that we don't have to deal with every day. So it's it opened my eyes and newfound respect for those guys. I tell them all the time, I couldn't do what you guys do. So I respect our drivers a lot. So,
well, like you said, I mean, you came into this, like, this is your first role of any kind in the trucking industry. So, I mean, when you had the chance to come in here just totally cold turkey like that, I mean, what was it like for you, I guess, going out on that first ride along that you did?
Yeah, just kind of first coming in, I was really nervous a little bit because I didn't really know what to expect. And on the ride along, it was really easy because I had known the driver a little bit beforehand. I had built a little bit of a rapport with him, so that was nice. But yeah, coming in my first day, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anything about trucking. I didn't know the first thing about it, but right when I got here, they had me split up into different departments. I got to sit in with dispatch. I got to sit in with Ryan in recruiting for a day and just kind of see how we operate and kind of how the trucking industry operates as a whole a little bit. I still don't know nearly as much. Our GM says he's been in trucking for over 30 years and it changes every day still.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
It's an ever-changing industry and I love it. It's fast-paced. It's something new every day. Whether it's not something with our drivers, it's something in the office that I can be doing. So it was really eye-opening, and it's just it gives you an opportunity to keep learning, which I love. It's something new every day, which is awesome.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And you've really embraced it too, and so, like, I used to do all the social media before Karson came. I can't even tell you how happy I am to have this guy. That is not my background, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed doing that, but I really had no clue what I was doing. So this guy just came in and has saved my life with that, taking that off my plate, and you've been doing an awesome job with that.
Thanks, Ryan.
So you're welcome.
Yeah. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but we didn't really talk about the kind of freight that we haul. I know you mentioned that we do windows, but what are some of the other things that we do? Because we do a lot of stuff. It's not just windows.
That's correct. So we also have hauled for Ashley Furniture for years. We do a lot of stuff for them, furniture of all kinds, and those are somewhat similar to windows in that, like, those are actually multiple stop loads that can go just about anywhere in the country. And but we also do some hauling for companies like Menards, where you'll just general freight stuff that people would pick up from the store any day. Quick Trip, we've even seen some stuff from them. We do a lot of business with them.
Old Dutch started doing some stuff with some potato chips.
Yeah.
Anything we do a lot. It's all dry van, so anything that can go in a dry van, it doesn't need to be temperature controlled.
That's correct.
We can haul it. I know we've done pumpkins and wreaths and windows and doors, so anything in between. So
even Christmas trees too.
Yeah, Christmas trees. And like you said, we go all lower 48 and sometimes into Canada. I don't know how often we go into Canada, but
it's a couple times a week. It's not like it's all the time, but we definitely get there.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
but all lower 48. We started headquarters is up in Ladysmith. Bill Rands started the company in 1982 with 2 trucks, maybe.
I think it was 2
trucks.
Now Bill can watch this and correct me if I'm wrong. I know I'm pretty sure he bought one for himself, but he bought a second one that he hired out right from the get go. So
okay, fair enough. But
he built it into this.
And he's built it from 2 trucks to 150 trucks, 3 terminals, operating all lower 48. It's very impressive. And the most impressive thing, I think, is that it's still family owned. The culture is still there. They have the involvement of the Rands family still to this day.
Yes.
Which I think is really cool. I like when I was looking for my first job right out of college, basically, that was something important. I just like our drivers. They don't want to be a number. I don't want to be a corporate number. So I wanted to come somewhere where I'm valued. And this place is awesome. It is, everybody knows everybody by name, even our drivers. It's just family. It's not, like you said, it's not just marketing jargon. It really is how it is here.
Agreed. And something I would echo on what you said. So the Rands family is great. And something that I think a lot of drivers see is you'll have the owner who starts it, the dad or whoever, who starts the company. It's great. The kid takes over and it just goes to crap. That has not happened here. Bill semi-retired years ago. I mean, he still shows up a couple times a week. It's not like he's uninvolved. But when it comes to day-to-day operations, he hasn't been leading the place in a handful of years. His kids, Ryan and Rachel, have played a major hand
100%.
in that the past several years, and it just hasn't been that way.
No.
Ryan has always had a great head on his shoulders. He's always been good with people, had made great decisions. Rachel has been great to be around.
Yeah.
She brightens every room that she goes into, and, but, despite having Bill not really be in the picture and his kids being more involved, it hasn't been like other companies.
Right.
I really got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, 100%. The transition is smooth. Bill did a great job, I think, of kind of showing Rachel and Ryan the ropes of trucking and how it operates, not only from out on the road, but also in the office, and how operations and dispatch work and all of the little moving parts of the trucking industry. So I would agree with that. It's very impressive to not just a 40 years of business, but 40 years and transitioning from Bill down to his kids. I think he did an incredible job with that. And it's very impressive to see that, not only like the length of it, but just the efficiency in which it still is operating.
Well, and something too, and I don't know if it's been the same way for you, but ever since I came here, like I was never treated as though I was somebody who had to earn their trust.
Yeah.
Like even right from the get-go, they treated me like one of their own. They gave me so like, for example, like I had never been in a position where I had a corporate credit card before.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had to wait 90 days. No, they came in, they gave me all the tools that I needed.
Yep.
They gave me keys to the place, and I've only been there for a couple of weeks at that point, maybe a week, but they trusted me. And I think that just that embrace of me meant a lot. I don't know how it's been for you with stuff like that,
Yeah, when I have, since I got here, or first day I got here, they gave me all the tools I needed. I got everything I need to do my job right away, which, I mean, that's kind of, you would think that's kind of the standard, but you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you said, hit the ground running. It's just no one breathing over my neck, telling me how to do my job. They trust me to do my job, and they allow me to use my creative juices, so to speak. And
totally.
Just make the kind of content I want to make that shows off Rands in a positive light. And I love that side of my job, where there's just no one breathing down your neck telling you how to do it, nobody correcting you every time. We love our leadership, and they're awesome, and if we have a problem, we can go to them, and they're very involved with it. But I love the hands-offness of it, just letting me work, and it's been great.
Yeah, same thing here.
Awesome.
I totally agree with you. It's like what you said about them. Like we bounce stuff off of leadership all the time.
My goodness,
and
yes.
I've seen our drivers do that all the time too.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how right from the get-go, you also had the tools.
Yeah.
Like something I've seen with our drivers too, like when they come in, they're not always used to what we give them right away.
Yeah.
Like their truck, like they open their side box, they've got everything they need. They got all their fluids. They got 911. They got extra belts. They got lights and stuff like that. Like so that if they break down on the road, if it's just something that like if they're handy with a screwdriver, they can take care of it themselves. Yeah. Or like if they have to call for a vendor and that vendor doesn't have a certain belt or something, usually they'll have that, right? They're just little things that most folks aren't prepared for, or aren't used to anyway. And I enjoy seeing that too.
Yeah, just to kind of go with that, we had a couple drivers starting a couple weeks ago, and they were blown away at the fact that we were giving them a hat and some shirts. Yeah. They were like, "I've never been given this before." we were blown away by the fact that they've never been given it before.
Right, exactly.
So it's like it's weird when they go from one company to another. They're all different, and it's all different how they operate. So it's interesting to see the driver's reaction to these to what us seem little, but to them it's a big deal, and we love seeing the smiles on their face when we give them that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Something too. I think all of us have seen that over the past few years, trucking is changing.
Yeah.
And there have been many hurdles to navigate. People went through the pandemic. Now we're past that. We're seeing things post that, changes in governments that are impacting things. And so one thing that's been interesting to me is that we're starting to see some positive flow, I think, in the spot market. And even though Rands has never run their business making money off of the spot market, it's been nice to see a positive change in that, because everything that opens up more opportunity and helps keep the company profitable is great. And also too, I've always like I think we've seen a lot of companies go under.
Yeah.
Over the past few years, you know, and something that I have appreciated here is that they navigate difficult times well. They're smart about things.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we don't have all our eggs in one basket with customers, you know.
Yeah.
Karson, you know, I realized that you weren't even here a few years ago when this happened, but Rands did actually go through a period where we lost we didn't lose a whole customer, but we lost a significant branch of that customer.
I wasn't here for that, but I have heard the stories about it, and I've heard the kind of the bounce back story from it to be able to go from this dramatic loss at the time to now being able to build up back to where we are now. I don't know. Can you give a little bit more insight on that?
I can. Yeah. So, I mean, basically we had the customer that was really close by to us that did windows, and we did about 15 loads a week, I want to say.
Wow.
For them. And we're talking like big mile load stuff that goes out to California and back. Drivers loved it, you know, and they paid quite well for us. And so we got sudden notice that they were closing their doors in like, you know, a month or something like that.
Right.
I mean, it was like, bam, done. And so instead of just panicking and like, oh crap, you know, leadership just got on the stick. They started making phone calls, lots and lots and lots of phone calls. They established new customers. And the good news, again, like that one customer that we lost, it wasn't like they were our only customer. So it wasn't like we were immediately going to go under. But you see a lot of customers who do a lot of carriers who do put all their eggs in one basket, or they're just trying to run off the spot market. You can't be consistent with that.
Right. Like you said, if that happened to a couple other different companies, I mean, that is enough to put them, like you said, put them under. And if they're not able to adapt and change on the spot like that, like you said, you might just be SOL.
Exactly.
Like, you know? It's just, it's very impressive. Like, I've heard the stories of our operations team, and it's very impressive to hear about what they did and how quickly they were able to do it and turn it around and move from this dramatic, such a huge loss at the time to be able to bounce back. Like, basically nothing ever happened. I don't know if I want to say that, but I mean, we're at a point now where it's like, it'd be great to still have them, but
of course.
Right. It'd be great to have them around, but we're not at a point where we're hurting from it at least now. So
you hit the nail on the head, you know, and when it comes to that, you know, we didn't have to lay anybody off. No drivers lost their job. No office people lost their job.
I think sorry to cut you out. I think might be the most impressive part is no drivers or office staff having to be laid off. I think that is very, very impressive to be able to say that.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that's so very impressive.
You know, so, you know, Karson, again, so you're still new here. You've been here for about 6 months. You know, what have been some interesting things that you've seen coming from the background that you had prior to this and coming into this? Like, what has been for you? What are some of the differences in how you approach things or similarities?
It's with trucking and everything changing and how fast it moves and how fast paced. I find myself trying to just get ahead as much as possible, trying to plan out content as far in advance as possible with understanding that stuff's going to change. Like, if I have something scheduled and something else comes up, I can readjust it and move it. So it's just since I've been here, it's just been so fast paced, so quick. It's ever changing. Our drivers are they're just great. They've been accepting me. They're willing. Some of them, not all of them, some of them are willing to get on camera and do some stuff, which I think that content is awesome. I want to do more of it. But yeah, just how quickly things can change. One week it can be sunshine and rainbows. The next week it's down in the gutters, and then you're back up on top of the world. So it's very, very fast paced, which I love. I love being able to move and go from one event here, and then we're doing something with a driver, and then we're doing something with our office staff. So it's been really great. I love that side of it a lot.
Well, and I know you did a lot of event type stuff prior to coming here. I mean, what was the approach to how you did stuff different, or still pretty much the same?
It's fairly similar. I love to have a plan. I love to just go. It never goes according to it, but I love to just plan stuff out if I can. So now if we have an event here, I try, week before, week of, depending on when it is, I try to kind of plan out what kind of content I'm trying to get at this event, trying to plan out what the goal of us being at the event is, because those change, whether it's a a school. I've been to elementary schools, golf outings, career fairs, and everything in between. So it's just trying to plan out the specific content to get at each event, and then planning out how to get the most value from that event.
Yeah, so that makes sense too.
Whether it's a golf outing I'm at, trying to get as many business connections as possible, or whether I'm at a school event trying to make memories and have a fun time with the kids. It's just all about trying to plan it out as much as possible. You never can plan for everything, but I try to get as prepared as I can before going out to an event. And that's kind of always been how I try to never wing it. I mean, you kind of have to sometimes, but as much as prepared as I can be, I try to get as prepared as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's smart too. You know, and I think something too that can be difficult on our end is that we really do like to be involved in stuff around here. We just can't be a part of everything,
right?
Now, you know, so sometimes knowing who to say no to is tough, and you know, sometimes saying no, it doesn't mean we don't like you.
Right.
It's just
I mean, there's so many emails I get that are just, can you sponsor this? Can we sponsor that? And some of them we're all about it. We're jumping on it. And then some of it's just like, it's not really going to benefit us as much as we would like. So it's definitely is a balancing act to kind of pick and choose. And we have a good group of people around us in that space that reach out to us for all events, or reach out to us for events that they think are going to be just for us. So I think that's been pretty cool too, to be able to build that up and have kind of a community in that space a little bit. So I've been pretty proud of that.
I think so too. And then also when it comes to that piece of it, you know, being able to go to something once and determine, hey, you know, there is value in this,
right.
You know, like we can contribute something to this, they can contribute something to us, and it may be more of a continual thing. Sometimes you just have to say, you know, like, it was nice to go to this, but this just isn't a value add. You know, we can't do anything to help you. You can't help us. You know, not like we have those types of conversations. But you know,
it's just something you got to weigh. We love getting involved with the community. We try to. We're involved with the chambers, the economic development groups in the area. So we try to get involved with as many things as possible. So we're out and about fairly often. We are out in the community.
I think your microphone's falling down
on
you,
really?
Dude. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is. What's going on here?
Technical difficulties, folks.
And we're back. Okay.
All right.
We'll edit that out. All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're still working through the kinks a little bit. Hopefully it probably won't be the last time, but hopefully it is. It probably won't be, but we can pretend it will be.
Exactly.
No, I think, where were we, Ryan?
So you were talking through some of the stuff about the events and stuff that we go through. Yeah.
So we try to get involved. We're involved with the chambers and the economic development groups. We try to get out to ribbon cuttings and local events in the area, but it's just impossible to get to all of them. Some that we have coming up, we're going to be at some truck shows in August. We're going to be at the Terry Biddle Memorial Convoy, August 14th and 15th. So at the Menards West store. So if you're out and about or you have nothing to do those days, come out and see us. We're also, I don't know if you know this or not, we're going to do the Barron County Truck Show this year too.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's
cool.
we're going to do that. That's September 20th and to the 22nd, I want to say.
Okay.
We're going to be at that one too. So we get out and we try to do as much as we can.
I think that's great too, you know. And also it's kind of on a different topic too. Like, one of the things that you had talked to me about prior to hopping on the microphone here is just some of the different challenges that we're starting to see in the industry here, and specifically when it comes to recruiting. It's been interesting because we've started to see some positive progress when it comes to the government removing drivers that really are not legally driving, you know, and so that's a positive thing. One of the challenges it creates, though, is that you're starting to see a greater number of job openings. And so for drivers, it's great because, you know, they got all kinds of opportunities right now. So, you know, we got to figure out how we can appeal to them and show them how we can take good care of them, because they got options, you know. Drivers always have options, but they have more now, you know.
100%. I think just kind of going off that, what are some of the biggest challenges that you face today in recruiting, like nowadays? What are some of the biggest things that you see every day where it's just the hardest part of your job?
A growing concern that has arisen in the past few years is the number of drivers who are participating in the SAP program.
Yeah.
And this is not something that's meant to be stated as a form of judgment to people, you know, but a SAP program is something that people have to take if they fail a drug screen. And so we're starting to see a lot more people who seem to be turning to drugs for different reasons or another. And so that's tough to see, quite frankly, because that's a choice that's going to harm them for the rest of their career, not just with Rands Trucking, And so we're starting to see more of that, unfortunately. And I think that does go at least point out just how stressful it is out there.
Yeah,
I
100%.
mean, it's not an easy job.
It's not. It really isn't. I like to say they just have so much to rely on other than just getting there on time. Like they have to hope that the shipper receiver's ready for them. They have to hope that they're unloaded in a decent amount of time. I mean, sometimes it's subjective all the time, but they have so many moving parts and variables that they have to worry about that are just out of their control and make their job so much harder. So I see why that's happening a little bit, but yeah, like you said, it's not what you want to see.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. And it's tough to see, because sometimes you talk to some people and you want to offer them the job, but you can't. I mean, like we're dealing with people's lives here.
Right.
So you just can't take risks like that.
Like you said, there's so many times, we'll be talking to a potential driver or a candidate, whatever the case, and you really just want to, you want to help them out. And we try to as much as we can. Like if they don't have a CDL, we'll try to point them in directions of some schools or some other companies that have training programs or some companies that we know of that are reputable and that we've hired other drivers from. So we try to help them out as much as we can. But there's only so much we can do to where it is what it is. It sucks, but it's just like we can't, there's nothing we can do.
Exactly. But we do what we can.
Right.
And I think that we've tried to help people.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think you and I have, like, whenever we deal with people, going back to the SAP program, there are other companies who are SAP friendly. And I know 100%. You and I have both tried to point drivers to companies that are SAP friendly, not just hang up on them because, people, they're still people.
It all goes back to respect. We treat everybody how we would want to be treated. It is whether you're, have 20 years of experience and you're sick of where you're at and you're ready to make the jump, or you're fresh out of school just trying to find your start. We're going to treat everybody the same, and we're going to help them out to the fullest extent that we can in their situation. So I think that's another really cool thing about not only Rands, but you specifically. I don't know how many other recruiters are trying to help, not necessarily help, but, point a driver to another company.
Yeah.
So it's just, that goes back to and they remember that. We've had people say that, well, thank you, we'll remember this, and when I hit my year of experience, I'll give you guys a call back. So I think that's really cool.
Back at you, dude. And I've seen you embrace that as well and help with that too. That's awesome. Been great, and I appreciate that. But I agree with you. We don't want to just say, oh, sorry, you don't qualify.
Right.
That's not right.
Yeah. They're looking for an opportunity, and if we can't offer them, at least we can give them some help and point them in the direction to kind of get it on the right track and get going a little bit.
Correct. Exactly. So, and another thing that I'll just mention this one other thing. Another thing that's kind of always been a challenge when it comes to recruiting has been drivers who, what we call job hopping, and job hopping has always been a double-edged sword because there are a large number of companies out there, like we addressed before. They either just lied to the drivers, or they don't give two craps about them. So they come there, they use them, they treat them like crap, and there's a lot out there. So it's reasonable to assume that a guy could go to several companies in a row that are terrible. There is another side to that, though. When you look at an application and you're just seeing nothing but short periods at a bunch of different places, there's another side to that where it's like, well, I'm sorry, it's not all of them out there that are bad. So
it gets to a point, like you said. I mean, it's not unreasonable for 3 jobs that are all pretty bad situations for the driver, and then maybe they come to us and then they never leave. They stay at Rands for the rest of their career because they finally found a place that they like and a place that treats them how they want to be treated. So, but sometimes though, you get the guy with 10 jobs in 10 months. So
I've seen that too.
It's a double-edged sword with that sort of stuff.
You're exactly right about that. And I do think Rands tries to be reasonable with that. Whenever we're looking at an application, we're trying to look for the positive.
Right.
Actually.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just can't overcome certain things because people need to understand there's investment involved. Rands is going to pay for, we're going to pay for your trip to come to orientation. We're going to pay for your hotel. We're going to pay all this stuff up front for you, give you a sign-on bonus, all that stuff
we're going to take care
started.
of you.
Exactly. We're going to take care of you.
We're going to take care of you.
So if we can't see anything that indicates that you're going to stay, more than likely you're probably going to leave because of something petty, and that there's some risk to there
100%,
too. But
100%. No, I think that's also very cool. I don't know. I don't know how. Again, brand new to trucking. I don't know how common it is for companies to pay for these travel expenses, but to me, I think that's a pretty cool thing that we can offer these guys. Whether because we hire all over the country, we don't just hire out of Wisconsin. So like if we get a guy out of Texas, we got to get him up here. So I think that's cool that we offer that and give them something other than just, hey, you figure it out,
Well, exactly. And we're also not just going to throw them on a Greyhound. Or something. A lot of people just throw them on a bus. We don't do that. We're going to pay for a flight or a rental car, make them comfortable. There's cost involved with that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a cost we're happy to give.
Right, 100%. It's worth the investment, 100%. So as we wind down here, Ryan, one thing that we don't have yet, we don't have a name.
We don't have a name.
We don't have a name, Ryan.
Help.
I know we do. Yeah. So we're hoping you guys could help us out a little bit. Give us some suggestions down in the comments below, and we're going to pick kind of the one that we think we like the best, or the one that's, the most liked or popular one in the comments that we see. So if you guys could give us some help on that, that would be awesome. We want kind of your guys' input, because this is, it's not just for us. It's for all of us, all of our drivers, the whole Rands family, so to speak. So that would be awesome. We're looking for some help on the names, and we want you guys to be a part of that.
Hit us up with that. Definitely tell us on a name for this podcast that you'd like to say. And also let us know some topics that you might want us to talk about on this. We're looking forward to doing a few episodes of this, and we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, like you said, this very, very first episode, still working through a lot of the kinks. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas or suggestions, or if you're a Rands driver and you want to be a part of it, reach out and shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, shoot me a text, get a hold of me somehow, and we're going to get you on the podcast. And we just want you to tell your story. We know you got stories out there, so we want to hear them.
100%. Don't be shy. This is a lot of fun.
This is awesome. This has been great, Ryan.
Yeah, back at you, Karson.
Awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
You too.